Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you Dr. Roy Perez.
Wow, you're gonna see a grown man cry here. Whew. First of all, let me say congratulations and happy anniversary to the San Jose State University Academic Senate. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts for what you've done and what you do and what you're gonna do in our community. You are an asset and a leader that takes us to other levels that some of us would never know we can reach. So congratulations for what you've done, and we look forward to great endeavors in the future. Congratulations again to you. Mr. President, Madam Trustee, honorable members of the Academic Senate, faculty, ladies and gentlemen, I humbly thank you. And I'm proud that this took place today in San Jose, because I consider San Jose my home, my roots, where I grew up. But I'd like to preface my comments by saying that I understand Edward VIII giving up a kingdom for a woman that he loved. Today, at a moment when I'm moved by this extraordinary honor and reflective of my own life, I want to begin by thanking my spouse, my bride, my best friend in the world, Gloria Malia. Babe, I have said this many times in private, but today I want to say this public. I would give up everything. I would give up everything if possessions meant not having you. I love you, and today we are both being honored, and I love you. Ladies and gentlemen, let me gather my thoughts for a second. This is amazing. Gloria and I are moved by the words and the company of men and women here today. As I look around, it is clear to me we're in the presence of greatness, and I thank you for that. I was not born to wear robes. Nobody who met me in the beginnings of my life ever dreamed that I would be on this dais. I am one of many children in my family. I'm a product of the fields. As a young boy growing up, our lives were influenced by the seasons, and my earliest memories are of working with my family, picking and chopping cotton, picking fruit, and climbing a ladder with a bucket around my neck to reach for those apricots. I learned early that our way of life meant that as long as the weather allowed, no matter how hot or how cold it was, we would be working from 6:30 in the morning to 5:30 in the afternoon, every single day. The man in the tractor knew my number long before he recognized my name. He wanted to make sure I was pulling my weight, and the 10 cents I earned for filling up a box that was no more than I deserved and no less than the weight he demanded. I knew the music of early morning and the long day noise of fields long before I understood the opportunities of a classroom. I didn't ride bikes with the ranchers' kids that I saw playing as they rode on the edge of the orchards. I knew why I worked and why other kids didn't. The dollars we collected mattered to the family budget. And I might have moments of wistfulness, but I wasn't envious. As a matter of fact, my family and I were too busy to be envious. Any bitterness I felt was lessened when I saw my family working tirelessly. My sisters, my brothers, I knew we were in together. We believed and we embraced the idea that work is honorable, and for that, I am proud of my family, for they instilled it into the core of my value. I am proud that we worked in the orchards and the fields of California. Nobody saw me then, and nobody who knew me then expected me to be given the robes you have honored upon me today. You see, I never graduated from high school, as I was shared earlier. I worked selling and delivering newspapers to make money to bring home. I worked at a car wash as my brothers did. I worked in construction with my brothers. I joined the Army and received a GED while in the military. I was never afraid of hard work, though. I was honorably discharged and fulfilled a dream that began with my family, but was deep in my heart when I entered college. A formal education afforded me the opportunity to grow intellectually. A formal education afforded me the opportunity to grow intellectually. There was a reason that this great university here, created just years after men and women who came to work the gold fields began searching for new worlds to conquer, came into existence. A formal education is powerful, but a combination of lifestyle experiences, the pains and the joys of real life, and the mentoring and exposure to books helps remove the bunkers that limit working men and women from participating in the fullness of our society. My life was tempered with education, and it was an exciting time to go to college. The social changes subsequent to the war in the Southeastern Asia and the generational battles in the streets of our country were matched by a demographic shift that is part of one of the greatest volunteer migrations in the history of the planet. A California that was 85% white when I was born was beginning to diversify into our culture and our way of life. There was a new vernacular in California, a movement, if you will, a new vision for the state, if not the nation. I remember the incredible pride I had being a Chicano. I still hear the chants, Chicano power, viva la raza, que viva la huelga. I can remember the incredible sessions when men and women of color talked about using our experiences in the fields, in the barrios, in the ghettos, and using our formal education for the betterment of others. The lessons I learned in the fields and later in the classroom were articulated best by my favorite playwright, director, and poet, the brilliant Luis Valdez, when he said, "When in doubt, build your own damn truck. You can't wait for others to give it to you, you need to build it yourself." And quickly added, "The future belongs to those who can imagine it." In this new age of instant gratification and instant satisfaction, when effort and results are sometimes equally fleeting, we carefully and slowly use the avenues made possible by education and organization and marching and perseverance of becoming a political bloc to forge an American dream that was just as much as si se puede as had ever been the remembrance of any battle. I was not born, to wear the robes you've given me today. I'm indebted to the professor who told me I could make capital of my writing, the patient expert in political science who said protecting the interests of the most vulnerable is a struggle with a strong footing in history, and that in our lifetime we can demand respect and we can use our diversity to make California the jewel of the Pacific Rim. On the day I was born, there was not one single Latino member sitting in the California State Legislature. A constitution originally written in English and Spanish had not protected everyone equally. Today, the Latino Legislative Caucus is the strongest legislative arm in the state capitol, and Spanish is our second language. It has been my great honor to have listened and walked beside those who subscribe to the wisdom of Emiliano Zapata, who said, I would rather die standing than live on my knees. The fact that all of us are here together is proof enough that we're all dreamers. We want a world of thoughtfulness and hope, a place where our children can live the fullness of life. I have learned over the years in the company of governors and when laying out the tarp in an almond orchard, that every one of us is just as subject to the foibles of human nature as we are to those traits which we share with the Almighty. It has been a long time since I've been able to double the years I have lived and have the sum total of my life expectancy. I do not think of myself old, but I can count. And I no longer run with that spring that once kept me ahead of the curve. The boy who was fast would not be given the ropes you have given this man. If I've learned anything, it is that we can be kind without being weak. We can be generous without feeling as though we've been leveraged. We can love our country for the opportunities this remarkable democracy provides without moving in the lockstep with those in authority. We can dare, we can challenge, we can be proud, we can love our neighbor, and we can pray for a strong, healthy, and safety society. We can begin each day developing strategy to lift up those who want what we have been given. It is a long way from the cotton and apricot fields to this moment. Each of us have our own story. Mine is filled with family that is dear to me, and mentors to whom, which include my family, I owe a debt that can never be repaid. You have made my story special today with this great honor. Gloria and I and our children, Paloma and Angel, are deeply grateful. And with that, God bless San Jose State University, California, and the United States of America, and thank you for this honor.